It took Mother Nature 65 million years to sculpt Utah's canyonlands. Now it's the setting for an adventure masterpiece. 50 intrepid souls from all walks of everyday life are here. Their motivations as diverse as their personalities, but each has a common goal: to climb the highest mountain on Earth. To realize their quest, they must test themselves and each other as they visit the altar of Mother Nature, where the weak will find no solace and the strong will add to their strength. So for 50 amateur athletes, it's all for one and one for all in the adventure of a lifetime on Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure. Southwest Utah, this majestic setting will serve as the initial proving ground for 50 adventure athletes.
Hi everybody, welcome to Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure. I'm Craig Hummer, flying high above Moab, Utah. Join us as we follow ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Over the next 5 months, we are going to visit 4 different continents as our expeditioners endure extreme temperatures, battle the elements, and push their mental and physical limits.
The ultimate goal is to summit Mount Everest, whose peak has inspired adventurers since Sir Edmund Hillary, along with Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, first reached the top 50 years ago.
I want to be the first woman from South Dakota to climb Mount Everest.
I understand that getting to the top is only half of the journey.
The danger of Everest definitely bothers me.
My biggest fear is attempting Everest.
I want to climb Mount Everest because it's one of the most challenging and most difficult feats that anyone in the world can ever attempt.
The participants will be cut from 50 to 24, with the next challenge, the Rocky Mountains near Aspen, Colorado. The athletes will encounter cold and rarefied air as the level of endurance required increases dramatically. An uphill foot race is followed by a backcountry ski traverse with alpine survival in sub-zero temperatures. In teams of 5, group dynamics will be as important as athleticism. 12 participants will move on to South Africa's Kalahari Desert, where burning sands and relentless sun radiates upon those who must survive this hostile landscape. The teams will be required to eliminate one of their own, with 11 adventurers traveling to the dense jungles of Central America and a grueling coast-to-coast mountain bike race. 2 more teammates are eliminated as 9 will be thrust into the stark white setting of Iceland, where biting winds and bitter cold will reduce the field to the 5 that will climb Mount Everest. Across the globe, the new Toyota 4Runner will be an integral member of each team. Together, they'll face the obstacles of sun, sand, jungles, and ice, all the way to Mount Everest. So the challenge begins here outside of Moab, Utah, where 50 men and women from a wide range of backgrounds and careers have gathered to win a once-in-a-lifetime shot to stand on top of the world. Dreams and aspirations are counterbalanced by anxieties and the fear of failure at the first night's campfire, hosted by my colleague Darian Boyle.
All right, looks like we got a great crew here. How you guys doing today? All right, and what you guys have all been waiting for, Russell Bryce is going to take us to Everest.
There we go, Russell.
He's the Everest veteran, so you're all in really good hands.
I want you to fully understand that this is an incredibly dangerous undertaking that you're about to take on. It's not a race to the summit. We've already seen all the races to the summit. We're not there to try and see how fast, how quickly, how energetically we can get to the summit. We're there to have a safe and successful expedition. This is going to be really the ultimate challenge that you'll have in your life.
As one of our 4 expert judges, Bryce's experience is legendary, having been the expedition leader of 13 successful ascents of Everest. Kathy Sasson, one of the world's top adventure racers, her stamina and determination have led many winning teams. Hans Ray is a mountain bike champion. His skills and showmanship have made him a global 2-wheel ambassador. At home in polar regions, Eric Phillips is the only person to have skied across the world's 4 largest ice caps. The rambling capillaries of the Colorado River have created the ideal extremes for the opening stage of our global expedition. Out at the starting gate, the racers will first face the frigid 50-degree Colorado River. Upon reaching the far bank, the saturated athletes set off on a trail run, navigating through ankle-twisting scree as they seek their way among the cliffside debris. The course then takes them back across the river downstream, where they must resist the force of Class 3 rapids.
Good guy. Okay.
You can push up.
On the other side, the teams face a bouldering field. Here they must display strength and solidarity in getting all members on top through a combined effort. Up next is a precarious trail run that not only tests endurance, but also balance and control. Then, as legs and lungs are seeking respite, a transition zone signals that yet another lap of the course beckons. Global Extremes Mount Everest Forerunners of Adventure, presented by the all-new Forerunner, larger, more powerful, more capable. And brought to you in part by Yahoo Sports, the official internet partner of Global Extremes. Log on to sports.yahoo.com/Global Extremes for detailed information. And by Camelback. Get cool water anytime with Camelback hydration systems. Camelback, keep moving. 50 complete strangers will now see if they are up to the Global Extremes Challenge. The judges have named the 10 teams after the world's 8,000-meter peaks. Team Annapurna is the first to leave the starting gate. The 5 team members quickly encounter the need to work cohesively as the murky Colorado River welcomes them with an ominous jolt. The teams must determine their entry point as the river's swift current can unwittingly carry them downstream in a flash. Annapurna crosses the river seemingly in good stead, but their navigation skills quickly come into question as they lose the trail in the rocks. Doug Evans does his best to keep his team on track.
Where was it pointing? It's going this way, then we gotta go this way. Yeah.
I don't have any fear in climbing Mount Everest. I just see what's before me and I just feel motivated. I feel the opportunity to really challenge and test myself. I think the only fear that I have maybe is the fear of not being given the opportunity. You know, if that's what you want to call a fear.
Let's just check this out. Here, come on.
Fellow team member Brooke Shinsky is determined to go the distance.
I like to think I could make the final 5, obviously, or I wouldn't be here. I think that I do have a lot of strong points, and I would be lying if I said I didn't have any weaknesses. But I think that finding the perfect expedition team, you have to have the right combination of strengths and weaknesses.
Watch out for the loose rocks. Good job.
Just think hot tub.
Hot tub. Think about bed.
Observing a staggered 5-minute starting interval, Team Choi Oyu is the next one out of the gate and into the ice-cold river water. Jerry Chang finds himself in dire straits right off the bat. Although his teammates offer encouragement, Jerry is left to fend for himself. Hans Ray takes notice.
Jerry Chang is drifting way down. Look at his teammates, they way up. You know, his team is about to lose him. They gotta stay with him. They gotta help him out. They cannot let him go down. So this is very crucial here.
Jerry's continuing struggles are further hampered by the frigid water, which depletes what little energy he has left. His teammates show little concern, and Jerry voiced his misgivings before the day began.
My biggest fear up to this point is, I would probably say, the fear of being out of control.
Drained by the swim, Jerry can hardly stand under his own strength. Reaching the riverbank offers little solace, for this is only the first challenge of the day.
All right, let's go.
Doug Evans and his team seem headed in the right direction. For Jerry Chang and his teammates, the need to regroup is paramount. Not all of the inhabitants of Utah's Red Cliffs are intimidated by the steep slopes, including Team Dalagary, which has cohesively come together right from the start.
Sponsored by bananas.
Remember, put a banana sticker on my forehead, and she said, well, if this can stay on your forehead throughout the race, you'll have good luck and we'll make it back safely. I will be now known as the crazy banana guy on national TV. Oh, well, you have to sacrifice for your team.
Czechoslovakian-born 24-year-old Pavel Trkala lives in Washington, D.C., but his real passion is exploring the high country on his mountain bike. Pavel's travels have taken him to 5 continents and 58 countries. He also rode and filmed his ride across the Rockies in order to apply for Global Extremes. But now Pavel and his mates are narrowing the gap with Team Annapurna.
Yeah. What team are you guys? What's your name?
Annapurna.
Annapurna, once you get over there, we're going to start heading down, okay?
Yeah, one at a time. Don't knock any rocks on them. Let them get way over there.
My role as a teacher will add to my role in an expedition team in that I am so often a part of a big team where decisions have to be made and there are a lot of people with a lot of input.
Dalagiri's ability to work together is beginning to pay off. They navigate some of the most technical sections of the trail with relative ease. The team members seem to adjust to one another.
And, yeah, look where Jesse's stepping, you know? If you knock anything down, just sit around, just know. Watch your step through. Right there, how we step.
I think the team really has to know each other very well because I think teamwork and knowing each other are really a big plus. Already I've climbed 4 of the 7 summits, and I've been over to Nepal, and I've been to the Everest Base Camp, and I've climbed other peaks in that area, and it's just such an amazing area that I would love an opportunity to go back.
Gonna bring a backpack?
Well, I don't think we are. We were going to at first because they wanted to have some dry socks and stuff on the other side. But since it's so short really on the other side, we're just going to go, leave the pack here, pick it up and go. My idea of the perfect expedition team is a skilled team, people who are able to troubleshoot in crisis, people who don't break down, people that know that you're out there and things can get bleak, things can get really, really bad, and they know that we're going to survive if we all pull together.
The thing that concerns me most is the swim. The water's cold, the air temperature is going to be even colder, and I have a history of getting hypothermic in cold water swims.
Jim's concerns are warranted. The icy waters quickly engulf him as he struggles to reach the opposite shore. However, Team K2 stands by their man and coaxes Jim to safe passage to the other side.
Go, bud. Hold that, baby.
Many steps down the line, I have obviously some concerns about attempting Mount Everest. A lot of people get injured and killed doing that. But I'd like to think that good preparation and good judgment would hold me in good stead. Since my teen years, I've completed 70 marathons, including the Pikes Peak Marathon 11 times. That starts at 8,500 feet and finishes at over 14,000 feet. I've run the Leadville 100, but I didn't learn how to swim until I was 40. That's when I decided to try the Ironman triathlon, which requires 2.5-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and a 26-mile run. I'm 61 now and kind of the quiet old guy, but I have years of experience at endurance events and mountaineering, and I'm not your average old guy.
Bolstered by the support of his team members, Jim now faces the rest of the course with more confidence. Will it take more than a lucky sticker for Pavel and his team to maintain their pace? Can Jim survive another bone-chilling river crossing? Find out when Global Extremes returns. As a waterlogged Cho Oyu continues among the rocks, Aaron Olivier is emerging as a team leader.
My idea of the perfect expedition team is one where everyone's comfortable. There's no demanding leader, no overbearing person.
There's a marker right here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's all go down, Gary.
All right.
Straight up this ridge.
We got to stay on route. Gary, come on up, back up this way, please. Sorry, guys. Line up, Lenore. Okay. Yeah, let's backtrack.
There you go. Sorry, guys. No, you're fine.
Thank you.
Good. You got my wrist.
Hiya.
Rock!
The starting line at the Red Cliffs Adventure Lodge now becomes the transition zone for Team Annapurna. They will have only moments to shed their PFDs and regain much-needed warmth and energy before heading back onto the course.
Tell us how cold it is. It's pretty damn cold.
I don't really have a fear of not shining or not doing well because I'm coming at this from the point of view where I really am just here to have fun.
Still moving at a brisk pace, Team Dalagiri maintains high spirits as they approach the boulder problem where Judge Russell Bryce is on hand.
Guys, no. We want you all on top of the rock. In our selection process, we're going to see the good team players, we can see the individual players. So we're going to see people's skills. Some people will be leadership material, others will be following material. Some people need massaging, some people need kicking. People work in different ways, but they're all integral in the form of a whole team. You think about how you're going to get them on the top there.
I need one foot and I need one hand. Petit, you sit on his back, you know, give him an anchor.
You got a footstep there, you got a footstep here.
When you get up here,
there's a handhold up
there's a very good
there.
handhold right here.
The major challenges that we have on Everest is how to deal with the altitude, how to deal with the frustration of totally fit people who can run so fast here and they come to the altitude and they can barely move. It's hard to live at 6,500 meters for most of the time. How to maintain your own sanity when the wind is blowing 100 miles an hour for 10 days and the tent's flapping and everything is very uncomfortable. And to be able to withstand that, to be able to go to the summit and be strong and be able to do it efficiently is a major challenge.
Pavel is the last member to reach the top of the boulder. Their ability to work together harmoniously has allowed them to conquer each obstacle with relative ease.
Hold on to me.
I'm cool.
All right.
We can do that, man. We can do it.
At the start line, Team Lhotse receives a final briefing from Kathy Sasson.
When you pick up your PFDs, you pick up all your stuff, that wetsuits, everything, and you take everything with you for the rest of the course. You're not allowed to leave anything else here. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Were you listening?
Yes.
My background is in adventure racing, which is a sport that takes you across many different countries. So in one race, you would be mountain biking, climb, rappel, ocean kayak, river canoe. We cross jungles and glaciers and deserts and anything it takes to get to the finish line. What I'm looking for is a quality that I would choose in one of my own teammates. And when I choose my own teammates, I want to know that the commitment that they make means the same thing to them as a commitment that I make.
Oh, that's teamwork.
When something bad happens, when there's a crisis, I don't tend to freak out. I'm pretty calm. I stay collected.
Oh, God. Okay.
This is deep mud. I'm in up to my thigh right now.
No, I can't.
Okay,
I'm
back
over
out,
my knee.
back out. You can't go.
My shoes are coming off.
Nice and smooth.
Don't let me kick you.
After the quicksand-like conditions, Team Lhotse regroups and presses on in unison.
Yeah. Woo! Needed to cool off a little bit there.
Oh,
that's teamwork. Okay, slippery here.
Will Camille remain calm and collected on the approaching challenges? Can Aaron carry his team to a top finish? Global Extremes Mount Everest Forerunners of Adventure will return. 50 years ago, a humble beekeeper set out to fulfill a dream, to stand on top of the world. It is in this spirit that Global Extremes Mount Everest Forerunners of Adventure has brought together 50 everyday people for the adventure of a lifetime. Cho'oyu begins its descent towards the lower river crossing, and now Jerry must face waters that are even more turbulent than they were upstream.
Numb, hands are numb, but I'm okay.
Good fun. Part of the adventure. Almost there, Jerry.
I was a bit concerned about Cho'oyu's crossing. They entered the water completely disparately, separated. Then they came across, and one guy, Jerry, had significant problems. He needed to be rescued by the boat, and the rest of the team were completely off doing their own thing, and that's a real concern. Where they've got someone who's obviously in trouble, then they really need to pull together and help that person.
Come on.
I've been chosen as an expert because of my interest and skill in snow and ice activities. I've ventured to the world's largest ice caps, to the South Pole, to the North Pole, and I think that gives me the credibility, I think, to work with the athletes.
Got it. All right. Takes all the air out of your lungs.
Yeah. Just at the hardest thing first.
Okay.
Which is what I like. Gotta do the hard stuff
Waking
first.
us up first thing.
I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna do the best I can. And you know, if it doesn't happen, then I think I'm gonna meet a bunch of great people on the way.
Kate's Great Outdoors is the urban jungle of New York City. An inline skater who has competed in the X Games, her training grounds are the streets of Brooklyn.
I'm determined. I'm willing to take that chance, go the extra mile, and also be willing to back down when they know that where the danger is at.
As they make their way down the scree, what they're starting to do is make a sight line as to how they're going to come across the Colorado River this second time. Now, the current here is much faster, much quicker than it was in that first crossing, so they are going to have to play that current and not only decide where they go into the river, but plan on where that's going to allow them to come out here on the other side.
For Jim Barry, his icy nemesis is once again a reality.
My concerns about the cold water were well-founded. I got about halfway across, and I could tell that I was starting to get very cold, slowing down.
Team K2 works together to bring their experienced colleague Jim Barry safely across. This is the kind of teamwork that will be rewarded as the judges watch their every move. At the boulder field, Aaron continues to push his team ahead.
Hang on to that rock. You don't let go with your hands. There you go. I got you. You okay?
Got it.
Keep going.
Okay. Weak from his swim, Jerry's arms have little strength for even a short scramble.
I'll get my hand about right here.
Okay.
And then you just kind of brace him over here, and then he'll step up on my shoulder. Good job.
Team Cho'oyu looks on as Team Gasherbrum rapidly approaches.
I tend to take the lead role in teams and expeditions, and I'm a firm believer in a team effort. If one member is falling behind, then we all fall behind to go at that pace.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, be careful going down the back side, huh?
My left knee is bothering me just a tad bit.
Cho'oyu is beginning to show signs of wear. Aaron will have his work cut out for him in any hope of getting all members to the finish. Team Manaslu is just leaving the starting line. Despite their late position in the starting order, they remain confident and attack the river together.
Not so bad. Nice job, you guys. Way to go.
Probably the Everest would be the scariest part. Some people don't handle the altitude as well, no matter what kind of shape you're in, and my fear would be that my body would do something that I didn't have control over.
The river crossing under their belt, Manaslu sets a swift pace for themselves.
The river was not warm.
I think I fit into the role of a team in a lot of different ways. I think I can be a leader. I think I can be a follower. I can fluctuate with the different dynamics and the different environments which a team would always be confronting.
Manaslu quickly overtakes Kang Chingjunga and shows no signs of letting up. With each crossing, Jerry's attempts become more harrowing. How much more can he endure? The same applies to Jim as each icy dip further zaps his strength. Global Extremes Mount Everest 4 Runners of Adventure, presented by the all-new 4Runner, larger, more powerful, more capable. And brought to you in part by the United States Marine Corps. The change is forever. Manaslu completes their first lap with relative ease.
Here in the transition area, Darian, our participants get the chance to really regroup, to talk about what they did right in the first loop and now really what they need to work on the second time they go out.
Well, they've battled the current and the rapids of the Colorado River, 58-degree water temperatures. Now they're going on a trail run and they have to work as a team.
These guys started third, they're already in the lead. The course must be brutal, you know, it takes its toll. We saw a lot of people having problems, even at the bouldering problem. The river is much harder than expected. These guys are looking good here. What's happening, Pavel? How are you? You're looking good here. In the 58 countries?
Yeah. All hitchhiking, mit Autostop gefahren.
Earlier in the day at the Toyota 4Runner opening ceremonies to honor Global Extremes, mountain biker prodigy Hans Ray performed his mind-boggling skills to the delight of the athletes. Ray's a multiple trials national and world champion, and his abilities have taken him on adventures around the globe. Team Lotzi makes their way to the scree field.
You know, the hill's a little shorter in Detroit.
Didn't think a lot of people from Detroit would be signing up, so it had to be something different than the flatlands of the Midwest.
Right about where this rock is?
I'm one of those people who I like to climb for the sake of climbing.
This little rock?
Everest, to me, it's one of those, it's like a lifetime opportunity, a lifetime goal. It's a dangerous undertaking, and given the opportunity, it's something I could look back on my life knowing I achieved something that I could feel really proud about.
They got rivers on Everest, they're just all frozen.
As the day progresses, the trail begins to show signs of wear. The teams must exercise extreme caution in this section of the course. Meanwhile, an inevitable moment is unfolding at the transition area.
Guys, I'm going to bail. I don't trust myself getting back in the water.
You what?
I don't trust myself getting back in the water.
We'll put Ted and
I think we can take you
Well,
across.
I barely made it out the first time.
But now we kind of know.
It took me almost
better
a
what
whole
we're
lap
doing.
to warm up again. So I think better part of safety for me is to.
I think we can get you across. I don't know what.
I think, personally, I think that Jim's probably making a really good call. I don't want to lose you, but.
Well, and I don't want to bail out on my team, but.
I think that we can get you across. It's not going to be easy. I think we can do it. If you want to go for it, we'll do it.
I've been thinking about it for the last couple of miles.
I'm sure you have.
And I think it's the wiser thing for me to do.
Well, let us carry your number. And it's like you're still there. What do you think about that?
I'll be there in spirit.
All right. It's simpatico. 38, 48.
It was meant to be.
Exactly.
Jim, can you explain what you were feeling?
And it's the first time in 40 years that I've failed to finish an endurance event. And that's a personal disappointment for me. But I was holding my team back, and I didn't want to make this a life or death event. I want to come back to do it again tomorrow and do another event another time.
Now numbering only 4, K2 proceeds under the wistful eyes of their former teammate.
I think it's the sun coming out.
showing no signs of wear, Manaslu tackles the boulder.
It's pretty slick. Yeah, be ready. And there's a go. Watch your back. Get the other hand. Nice job, Sam.
Thanks, you guys.
Hand hold right here.
Just hold on a minute, guys.
The members of this team all share a fine balance of strength, speed, and teamwork. Hugh has come a long way from Michigan, and the road ahead to Everest is even farther. And can Samantha's team continue their relentless push to the finish? Global Extremes continues after Extremes Mount Everest Forerunners of Adventure returns next week on the granite rock of Moab, followed by a grueling mountain bike and high-altitude running race. Marine Eric Kapitulik knows teamwork is critical.
Some of the same leadership things that I've learned in the military serve me well as hopefully when I have the opportunity to climb Mount Everest, meaning, you know, looking after your people and realizing what the mission is and what you have to do to attain that mission. And if you take care of those two things and never forget those two things, I think it serves you well regardless of what mission you're doing.
2 years ago, Eric, returning from a mission, faced an unforeseen event that would change his life forever.
The helicopter that I was on and 10 of my men were on came in too low and too fast, struck the side of the ship with its right rear wheel. When the helicopter pilot applied power, it caused the helicopter to flip over and enter the Pacific Ocean. All my men and I were knocked unconscious. I woke up underwater. We're all wearing 50 to 75 pounds of gear, equipment, ammunition, and weapons. I was able to swim out through an opening and swim to the surface of the ocean. By this time, the helicopter sank, and that's when sort of the realization came in that, no, not everybody made it out of the helicopter. At that time, I decided that I would try and raise as much money as possible for a college education scholarship fund for my men who died and for their children.
1, 2.
How I would raise that money would be by competing in ultra-distance athletic events. All in all, after running in Ironman California, the Armed Forces Eco Challenge in Alaska, the Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii, and Ironman USA, I've been fortunate enough right now to have raised $60,000 for the college education of my men's children.
Group Manaslu, they start as fourth. They already passed 2 groups. They're about to pass another group. You guys are doing good. I promise those other guys I will slow you down a bit too.
Samantha's team's persistence never wavered throughout the course. They crossed the finish line first.
You guys obviously just got thrown together this morning. You have no idea who had what strengths, what your backgrounds were, and you got thrown together as a team. So what was your overall strategy? Stick together.
Stick together, and I
Stay
think
closely.
communication, finding out who had strengths.
Sam has a lot of experience, and she came up with some good advice. We were all real honest and told what our strengths and what our weaknesses were, and the strong people helped week out, and weeked up the strong, and everybody had their strengths, so we worked together well.
Pavel, the Banana Man, Petit Pinson, Jesse Reichert, and the rest of the team enter the finish exuberant.
We worked hard physically and we worked hard as a team, but the thing that really got us here fast was our good luck Mark here. Petit gave me at breakfast, and she said, if this can stay all the way through 4 river crossings to the finish line, we're gonna be good.
Team D.
On the final ridge, Jim Barry's teammates continue unabated despite losing him.
To get down to the lucky 5 is, well, that's a whole nother story. You just have to, you know, have your good days. I know when I have my good days, if I can have them every day that we meet and every day that I'm in the group, then I still would feel pretty optimistic.
Good run. Nice. Yeah. Good job. Very nice. It was fun.
They were great teammates, and I only wish that I was able to contribute more to it today. but perhaps I'll have my chance tomorrow and the next day.
Overcoming numerous difficulties and frustration, Jerry Chang, Kate Jenko, Aaron Olivier, and their team complete the course intact.
We found out that none of us were like runners, you know, we weren't experienced, we were not racers, racers, we weren't, you know, we're hikers and skiers and snowboarders, and so we knew that the running part would take a little bit, and so we paced ourselves. Aaron was our leader the entire way. He did an awesome job. He kept a great pace, and
we're here.
You know, we switched up a little bit, you know, second, third, and fourth, and we did it.
So at the end of the first day, the top 3 teams are Manaslu, Dhaulagiri, and Kanchenjunga. The global extremists now prepare for an individual test. The mountain biking in Moab is world class, and Mother Nature has provided an added challenge. Stay with us as the adventure continues. The off-road capabilities of the Toyota 4Runner allow our experts to be ferried between the various venues. Hans Ray has a mountain biking excursion planned in preparation of the individual race. To get the participants in the mood, Mother Nature has provided an unfavorable change in the weather.
Oh yeah, you guys have a born ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Let's get on the trail.
Don't feel like I'm in Moab.
The rain does little to dampen their spirits, and the participants attack the wet pavement. But the terrain soon becomes a bit more taxing.
I am having fun in the mud. There's no question about it.
Temperatures plummet as an early winter descends upon the riders.
See a thing.
Just let the bike go with the flow, you know.
For some, the rain, snow, and mud becomes more than they can manage.
I did that just for you guys. Next time won't be as good.
Oh boy. Woohoo! oh, you okay?
I met the competitors right before the race, and you have to learn to work well very quickly with people you've never met before.
I just can't do this. I'm not technical at all. I don't know how to write this. And they're not really stopping. I can't hear anything that they're saying.
Just go on your lowest gear.
I am on my lowest gear.
Wake up, careful.
Oh, Jesus.
You okay?
I can't get on. I'm just gonna fall again.
The weather-beaten mountain bikers go from trail navigation to simply staying upright and in control.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall.
Conditions provide the expert judges critical insight.
Well, we have to try to get to know these 50 participants, athletes, as good as we can, and we're actually going to see them in action, participating in sports, sometimes against the clock, sometimes in a team, sometimes just as a group.
32.
And out of all these impressions, we're going to have to make a decision to find the 24 people who will advance to the next round in Colorado.
We're mountain biking through all the country, so if people don't have the skill level here, it's impossible to learn it fast enough to be able to, you know, enjoy the rest of the countries.
Yeah. Plus the weather is a great element to add a little, you know, see how people already act just now, an hour of miserable weather, and you can tell already a lot about them, you know.
I just took off my pants.
All right.
not a bad idea to lift up your front wheel when you have a soft landing like this, so, and you done it right.
The Global Extremes Challenge has become a dirty business.
Get my feet out, I mean my butt out from the butt on my seat, so I just went boom.
We were just discussing the fact that I'm still relatively clean and how these guys are now going to push me in the mud. I'm not certain I agree with their technique, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Do I have a good shot of making it through Moab and Aspen? I certainly have the physical aptitude. I've got the skill sets, I've got the experience. If I get cut, it will be because I'm too athletic.
Well, I fell too many times coming down that real technical spot. And my knee is hurting me from yesterday. And this is just a little bit too much for me.
I think both sets of gloves are solid wet all the way through, but we're headed down, so it's only going to get better.
I'd like to really prove to myself that I can tackle this challenge. Having just done the tallest mountain in North America, I'd like to tackle the tallest mountain in the world.
Despite the conditions, Ginger remains resolute in her pursuit, while Kate finds the misery unbearable.
And this is just a little bit too much for me.
The rest of the participants can count on plenty of suffering on the long journey to Mount Everest. Global Extremes Mount Everest 4 Runners of Adventure, presented by the all-new 4Runner, larger, more powerful, more capable, and brought to you in part by Camelback, cool water anytime with Camelback hydration systems. Camelback, keep moving, and by Rolling Rock. As is often the case in the mountains, weather can change in an instant.
Conditions have changed drastically. It's much warmer, no more rain, no more mud. It started to become more fun again. A few people crumbled under the conditions. They had problems with their bikes. They couldn't handle the cold. They're shivering, probably not prepared properly. But those are the people we're looking for, the people who are not ready for these kind of conditions, because if you want to go to Everest, you gotta be able to ride through a little snowstorm.
There you go. All right.
Thanks.
Tell you, get those out of the way. You won't have any more the rest of the day.
Ooh. Really a pain in the butt.
The warm weather and dry trails bring about a revitalized spirit among the athletes.
Bye, you all right? Oh, yeah.
What kind of crashes happen in the best families, you know? But I make a note anyway.
The experts must now catch up with the invigorated competitors. On the wide open roads, the riders hold nothing back. The Global Extremists have had a grueling day and a half. They take this opportunity to enjoy a little sunshine and speed. Upon completion of the mountain bike ride, the experts begin their fundamental and difficult task of narrowing down the field to determine who will continue on this epic adventure. Moab has provided the essential elements to test the Global Extremists, but their challenge is only half over. The participants must still face daunting cliffs as they display their climbing skills. The weekend culminates with an individual endurance race that begins with a 5-mile uphill mountain bike ride, followed by an 11-mile run, where they gain over 5,000 feet of elevation and plow through fresh fallen snow up to 2 feet deep. From there, the experts will determine which 24 continue to the next round and whose adventure is over. Join us next week, only on OLN.